Hi everybody, welcome to my makeup tutorial. We are going to do this glam look today. We are going to have a good time. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is go in with your primer or your moisturizer. You definitely don't want to apply foundation on a dry face. Make sure that you stay away from the eyebrows, because when you go to draw your brows on, you don't want your brows to be too smooth that the pencil won't draw on the way it should. But if you make a mistake, you can always wipe them clean. Next, you want to go ahead and grab your brow brush. Definitely want to brush those eyebrows upward so we can go ahead and draw our eyebrows on. Go ahead and grab your eyebrow pencil color of choice. I'm going in with brown. You want to make sure that you draw underneath your eyebrow first, your natural eyebrow, as lightly as possible. You don't want to be too heavy-handed. Do the same thing at the top, staying as close to your natural eyebrow as possible. I drew mine kind of wide, but that's okay. You can draw them like you want. You don't want to be too big, but you can always correct it once you go to use your concealer to shape them. Go ahead and repeat the same process on the other eye. They may look kind of crazy right now, but trust the process. Trust it. Go ahead and grab an angle brush. Usually, the angle brush will help you go ahead and blend in any areas or spots you may have missed. Making sure that you bring the product to the front of your eye. And grab your concealer. Did you take your concealer brush? Definitely gonna need a concealer brush. Make sure it's as flat as possible and it becomes shaped like that. I'm showing you a different one, by the way, just in case. You want to go ahead and make sure that when you apply the product to your concealer, make sure that you apply product on both sides, making sure that you're tapping down against the product to kind of smooth it like so that it makes your brush become flat. Sometimes, as you're putting makeup on in general, it can become messy. So grab you a towel, or one that you may not use, to apply product on it, especially when we get to the eyeshadows. You want to rub some of that product off. Next, you're going to go in with your concealer brush. The goal is to draw, or I shouldn't say draw, but to shape your eyebrow to your liking, right? The second goal is to also just make sure that you're drawing a line, right? It's like tracing, I should say. Yeah. So it's like tracing the under part of your eye so that you create the shape that you desire. okay? Don't worry about if you get some of the product on your eyelid, because we're going to end up doing that anyway, applying product down there. But yeah, just try to shape the brow to your liking as best as possible. You don't have to rush it. Doing makeup is an art. So take your time, enjoy, and shape that eyebrow. Go ahead and smooth that product in. Definitely the process towards making sure your eyeshadow pops. So what I'm doing is I'm just going back in to kind of fine tune the bottom shape of my brow as best as possible. You can do the same. Let's go ahead and do the same at the top. Please make sure that that brush is as flat as possible. Definitely make sure that you remain comfortable. At the same token, take your time. It is okay to stop just like I did, just to make sure you're on the right track to avoid making a mistake. On this part, you want to make sure that you have the line be as sharp as possible. Again, keep it in mind, you're shaping it the way you want to. Make sure you blend your concealer up so that when you apply your foundation, no harsh lines. Grab your angle brush and go ahead and pat your concealer down so that it doesn't look too cakey. Make sure that you blend it in real good. Go ahead and make sure you blend it in up top as well. I'm just going back in with my pencil just to fill in spaces I may have missed or may have made a mistake on. I'm just going in to do the other eye. Make sure you keep your concealer brush as flat as possible so that you create the sharpest upper part of your brow, so those brows can be snatched. Don't forget to even out your concealer to remove any harsh lines. And again, I'm just blending it out. Just going back in with my brow brush. What I'm doing is creating what you call an ombre look, so that the front of your beginning part of your eyebrow doesn't look unnatural. Probably make that word up, but you can tell the difference when you blend it in. Make sure you bring the product from the tail end of the eyebrow to the front. I'm just filling in at this point just to make the tail ends of my brows a little bit sharper. Applying concealer to correct any mistakes or sharpen my edges. Let's get into our eyeshadow palette. I use the Morphe Jeffree Star palette. Use any one you want. I'm going in with the eyeshadow blending brush. And you can use any brush you like. Just make sure you have about 2-3 of them. Not a blush brush, but definitely one of your smaller blending brushes. Or you can use a eyeshadow brush. So first I'm going to go on with more of a warm tone color. It's also considered your transition color, which will help you blend in your next color. I patted on the product. See that? It's going quickly, but I'm actually patting the product on, using more wispy motion, similar to the way your car windshield wipers go from left to right. Now I'm more so using a circular motion so that the product blends well. I'm patting more product on, just to make it look really good. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other eyelid. Next, you'll see me go back in and make sure that I get the inner parts of my eyelid. Next, please make sure you grab some type of cloth or towel, because when you have excess product, you want something to wipe it on. You don't want to get too messy with this. Now I'm going to go in with my darker shade. You'll notice again that I am patting the product on. Also, I want you to notice I went in with a different brush this time. Try not to want to use the same brush, but if that is what you have, just make sure that you're taking the product off. Next, you'll see me going back in with the transition color, because it helps blend the two together. Now I'm going to go back in with more of the darker color. It's okay to add more product, just don't overdo it. You just want to make sure that you're applying it to perfection. I'll go ahead and do the same thing on the second eyelid with the darker color. Go ahead and apply more of the transition color. Again, you always want to apply it to your liking. So I noticed when I started to blend or add my product, I took my product too high. As you can see on the left eye here, or my right, your left, that eye shadow didn't have as much product towards the lid. Again, mistakes happen, and I was calling myself trying to go back in with a smaller blending brush to try to fix it. It's not perfect, but you know, hey, it happens. Still looks good. So this next part is optional. I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. It draws more attention to the middle part of your eyelid. So you can use any type of concealer brush. I showed you two. So what you're going to do is take your concealer. You're going to apply the product to your hands. You're going to pat both sides of the brush down so that it thins it out. Next, you're going to focal on the middle part of your eyelid, better known as the crease. You're going to position your brush in the middle part, tap it in like so. Try to close your eyelid so that it helps you know where you need to cut your crease. You don't want to make the mistake of cutting the crease too low and then making a mistake. Make your mistake this way. Okay, you can always correct it. Okay, so next you want to go into the inner parts of the corner of your eyelid there and just tap it in like a line almost, as I'm doing, and then you can go ahead and draw the remaining part of your crease. It's okay to apply more product. You're going to go ahead and smooth that product in as best as possible. You see me correcting any errors that I may have. Go ahead and smooth it in. Pat it down like so. So that when you go to apply your eyeshadow color, it doesn't smudge or not blend well. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye next. And you'll see me go in and make any possible corrections, which is okay. Now I'm just going in, making the eyeshadow look more bold by adding more of the darker color in. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pat my concealer down, making sure that it is dry. This method does help it dry down. So I'm going to go in with the golden metallic shaded eyeshadow. I attempted to do it with one of my concealer brushes. Sometimes I do have a little bit of difficulty of making the product stick. It works, especially in the inner corners of your eyelid. You can also use your fingertip if you want to. I'm patting it down like so. You can just kind of have fun with it, whatever works best for you. Just going back in the corners there just to make sure I'm not messing up my crease. Try to stay away from the crease when if you're going to use your hand. Now it's time to jazz this look up. I'm going to go in with the darker color that I put in my look. Just makes the look more bold, if I don't say so myself. Now we're going to move from bold to dramatic. I'm going to go in with my transition color. And then the goal is to make it blend in as best as possible. Next, I'm going to go in with the golden metallic color. As you see, I'm just blending. The key when you're doing your eyeshadow looks, you have to blend. And then I'm just going to complete the same steps on the other eyelid. Again, as we wrap up our eyeshadow look, just go in and make your final last blending strokes. Again, just adding, I think I went back in with my blending brush just to make sure everything is smooth. Looks good. Yes. Next, you want to go ahead and grab your lashes and glue. I have Duo glue. It's the white kind. I usually go ahead and put those on both lashes. I like for my glue to dry tacky enough so that I can apply them. Some people blow on them, whatever helps you, and or whatever glue you enjoy. I kind of use a bunch of them, but yeah, I use Duo today. As your lashes dry, we can go ahead and start applying an eyeliner in the color black. So you want to try to focus on the waterline if it's your first time. Again, the eyeliner just makes the eye not look as naked. If you don't apply eyeliner, it just really doesn't balance your look out, to be honest, from my opinion, my honest opinion. let's go ahead and grab our tweezers. That's what I'm using today to apply my lashes. I usually take my lash and place it down on the center part of my eyelash, my own eyelash. Then I try to grab and place the other part of my lash on the outer part of my eyelash, and then do the same on the inner part and press firmly down just to make sure it's firmly on your eyelash. You don't want to risk it falling off. Definitely don't want that. Next, we're going to go in with our foundation. I'm using a full coverage foundation by Marc Jacobs. You can use any type you want. I'm using the applicator that came with my product. You can apply yours with the foundation brush as well, whichever works best for you. Please make sure your foundation is covering your entire face. Next, I'm going to use a blender sponge, or beauty blender you call it. You can use a foundation brush, a flat head brush. Again, the sky's the limit when it comes to using brushes, right? But those are just a few you can use. I'm going to go ahead and pat that product in. Make sure when you're blending in your product, make sure to get your neck. You definitely don't want your look looking too tight. Let's go ahead and make sure that we've blended in the product well. Again, any brush of your choice you can do this with. But we definitely want to make sure everything is smooth, blended well. We're not missing any areas. Next, I'm going to go in with my eyebrow pencil just to correct any mistakes I would have made while applying my foundation. Next, I'm going to go in with some concealer. Now, this concealer I have on is from Juvia's Place. Concealing your face is optional. It is a way of contouring your look that adds dimension. It sculpts your face. You want to go ahead and blend that in with a flat head brush. That's typically what I use, or some people use a beauty blender or some type of angled sponge. Make sure that you blend your nose in between your eyes, underneath your eyes. Next, you want to go in with either a darker foundation or foundation stick. I'm using Juvia's Place foundation stick on my forehead. It helps shape the forehead. I also like to draw attention to my cheekbones that I'm creating there. Again, it's optional. You definitely don't have to do it. It's fun to do different things with your makeup, and this is one of them. I'm going to go in with a flathead brush just to kind of blend the look down. We don't want things looking blotchy or uneven. This is the way you even it out. Now you're going to go in with your blush of choice. I'm using the blush palette by Crayon Case. You can use any blush you want. Again, I love blush. Definitely enhances the look, the cheekbones. You can do this in place of contouring your face. If you don't want to do that, you can do this also. It makes your look pop even more. Now you want to pick your lip color of choice. I chose a darker color. You can use a liner with the lip gloss if you want to keep it more natural. Next, this beauty hack I'm about to do. You don't have to do this. You can add lip gloss, but I'm doing this to create more of an ombre look. And you can do that by applying concealer to the inner parts or middle part of your lip, and add a brush, pat it down, and just create the ombre lip look like so. I think this is basically it. Let me get this hair together so we can finalize the look. Yes, honey. Let me go ahead and put these earrings in my ear. Bum, bum, bum. It is coming together. Wait. See, the camera would not let me be great for this big reveal. Shaking my head. Yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Yes, and there we have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I have. Thank you, guys. Bye.